Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. This will be interesting. Not only is it my first, but I get to be recorded. Doing that screw up. Okay, I would like to call the meeting to order since we do have a quorum. We should be in good shape. So I would ask Chris, would you listen up?
I pledge allegiance to the flag. State. And to the flag that stands. Indivisible. For all.
Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes? Amazing. Is there any discussion or would there be a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes from the June meeting.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Ooh. You just take your pick. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Perfect. Okay. On to introduction of visitors.
So Casey Elliott from the Dillon Tribune is here, and John Hanson, the leader of our DFT. So thank you.
Perfect. Okay, on to review of and approval of claims and accounts.
And so there are no claims for July because in June we gave, the board gave Suzanne and I the authority to spend down the budget. So we will have claims in the August.
Perfect.
And we are working together to do that and trying to get everything closed out for that last year's fiscal year to start the new one. So no, exactly, especially with two new people.
So no motions to approve anything at this point. So then, I like this, we're already on to item 5. So, public comment, is there anything? There usually have something, I pondered that when I was reading this, I was like, couldn't have anything with me. No, I don't. Okay, on to the superintendent's report.
All right, so 6.1, reporting of board meeting procedures and the storage of that in accordance with board policy 1420. So as I mentioned in June, in accordance with board policy 1420, we are now required to record both audio and video of our meetings. So the meetings are required to be made available to the public 5 days after the meeting. We're going to put the links on the school website, so we already have a place on there. So it's just where the school board policies are at. There's just going to be a link underneath of that will just have the dates listed. Just a couple of things to note. If there is a technical issue in the policy, it does note that it does not have to sideline what we're doing. We just have to prominently note on the link that it just says this video recording is not available due to such and such. So the internet was out or something like that. So it doesn't, we don't have to cancel or those different types of things. And because we're not using the video as a, our official minutes, we only have to keep those for a year. So we'll have them available for a year on the website. And we're using our fancy new telephone system that we have, and it's been a great transition and another added addition and bonus having it put in place because it just made it really super simple for us to.
That's great.
Well, I should knock on wood. I think really simple for it to work. So Paul's out of town, but we've been talking back and forth, and he was going to check afterwards, and he'll get it all posted and do all of that. So that is 6.1. 6.2. 24-25 preliminary general fund budget. So again, as I've noted a couple of times, things have not changed. It does look like we're looking at an increase of about $108,000 over last year, and I will be working with Suzanne on our budgets for the August meeting. And this will include both the general budget and our permissive voted levies, permissive and voted levies. And so that will be at the August meeting. And again, this is kind of a unique year, just simply because we are losing our ESSER money in September. So we have had to absorb some of those salaries and some of those different things into the general budget. And so it's been a little bit tricky to try to navigate and to do that kind of stuff. And so, hopefully after we get through this year and our enrollment hopefully continues to increase, we'll continue to see, additional funds to be able to support all the programs. And of course, with it being a legislative year, that would be, hopefully good. Yes. And so, so that will be at the August meeting where we'll vote to set those budgets. 6.3, technology and safety levy proposal. This does kind of come on the heels of what I was just talking about with us absorbing, some different things. And with the ESSER, we were able to, over the years, to really build up a little bit of the technology fund. But of course, as technology costs have increased, we've had to utilize a lot more of that. And so our current technology levy is a $50,000 perpetual levy, which is nice because it's not something that we ever have to, that we ever take back out to the taxpayers. It's just a perpetual levy. But unfortunately, $50,000 doesn't cover hardly salary for the technology director. And we were able to kind of support with some of the money that we had built up into that technology levy, but unfortunately that's dwindling. And so again, like the ESSER money that we're absorbing, we're having to absorb some of those different types of things in the general budget as well. So I'm going to work with Suzanne a little bit and just try to put together a proposal to bring to you guys to consider the possibility of running a levy at some point and what that would look like for the taxpayers, what that would, the amounts, all those different types of things. And of course, we already have the $50,000, so that would be, that, and then plus whatever additional we felt was going to be there. But, just everything with technology costs more and more, infrastructure-wise, as well as support, with the, firewall, so all of the different things that just continue.
Think about that issue you guys had, was it a couple years ago where they got into the system? It took however long to get the emails back up and running,
and there was a lot of things that came from that we had to change and just to support, and of course just the cost of everything just continuing to increase. And so the more that we're still trying to keep up and provide teachers and students with access to those different types of things, plus the safety and the security of the different things in place for our systems, as well as, internet protections and those different types of things. It's just started to add up. And this year, looking at it for next year, we're really going to have to absorb quite a bit of that in the general fund. So that $108,000 is quickly dwindling. And again, just wanted to start the conversation and then give you guys a chance to kind of ponder it and ask questions or those different types of things. Nothing set in stone, but just we'll be bringing some stuff to the table for you to consider down the road. 6.4, Beaverhead County Transportation Committee meeting July 17th at 10 o'clock. So the county transportation meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, July 17th at 10 o'clock at the courthouse. Mike Richardson has agreed to go to the meeting as a representative from the board, and Jack will also be there. Yes.
I've got quite a few years, so it's a good meeting, and I've already read through all the stuff that you sent me.
It's really interesting, and it talks a lot about, sets the routes and those different types of things, the mileage and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then
It's a good meeting, that last one.
thanks for doing that.
that'll be on the 17th. And maybe possibly we'll have a new transportation director that will maybe be there as well. So he won't have started. 6.5, so Butte School District did a Melrose pickup, so included in your packet is a copy of the approved Melrose Post Office pickup from the Butte School District. This document will be submitted to the County Superintendent's Office at the July transportation meeting. And so it is in there. It's just real short and sweet. It's just them giving us permission to pick up students at the Melrose Post Office, which is in the Butte School District. So we couldn't do that if we didn't get permission from them to be able to do that. And I believe it prevents us from having to cross over a railroad crossing or something like that is the reason why. And I could be wrong on that. I should have asked Jeff the specific reasoning in that, but it would do with something. So we really appreciate them doing that, and I think they've done it for the last activity bus driver pay, 6.6. So it has been brought up by some of our bus drivers that they would like us to look into increasing the pay structure for bus drivers who take activity trips. It is getting more and more difficult to get drivers to take our activity trips, especially on Saturdays and weekends. Suzanne and I will be getting together just to kind of do some research on what some of the surrounding districts are doing and see how we compare, just to see if, like Mike said, he's visited with a couple of them, and they sit around on Saturdays where they're at these tournaments and different things and talk to one another and kind of disclose what they're getting paid, and then it's like, what? And so, and it is another thing like officials, it's just really sorry to get bus drivers and to give them, to give up their time, even though they are being compensated for that, but it doesn't have to be worth it for them to be able to do that, and it's a pretty important and, valuable job, and I'm just starting to get worried that we're not going to get drivers to drive on the weekends if we can't figure something out. But again, it's just that extra money, just trying to find how to figure out a way to do it in a way that, that we can manage. And so, again, not anything that I'm bringing to a vote, but just a start of that conversation. And like I said, I don't know if any of you know any of our bus drivers, but if you do, I live next to one, and every once in a while I pull up at my house and I think, oh, he's outside, I'm going to wait. And he's not doing it for any, just that it gets harder. And it is a very valuable and very important job, and we certainly appreciate what they do. Again, just wanted to bring that to your attention, that that's become has anything else to add to that? 6.7 is activity director report. I visited with Brock. He thought he was going to be here, but he wasn't able to get here today. He really didn't have anything, just getting ready to go. Kids are, doing open gyms and in the weight room, and we're getting lots and lots of kids that are participating in a wide variety of different activities, which is always exciting to see the kids in the gym. In the summertime, we just finished getting our floors done. So today was the opening day. So they were beating down the door to get in and had to wait a little bit for Jack to, go through and make sure everything was good. But like I said, it's just really great to see the kids in the school in the summertime and working hard and in the weight room and stuff. So, so that, and just getting prepared for fall, which is going to be here before you know it. So I think that first day is August 12th. I think is that first day that they. Well, it'll be here before you know it. I'm sure I can't. That Thursday. So easy. Where does it go? Where does it go?
Yeah, that's perfect. No, that's great, because I saw that too. So then we're on to the consent agenda items. And do you want to just kind of talk through each of these as you said even a little bit, just motion. Okay.
So, and then do you want to do the motion all at the end?
Oh, yeah, that would be great. Did you guys, are you comfortable with that if we just do one motion at the end to approve all of her recommendations? Okay.
So 8.1, board consideration of superintendent's recommendation to hire J.C. Hacker for the position of school counselor. So the counselor hiring committee interviewed a candidate for the open counseling position and is recommending to the board that you hire J.C. Hacker as the new counselor for the 2024-25 school year. And I would concur with this recommendation. She's comes to us very highly qualified. She's all of her experience has been at the post-secondary level, and so, but just lots of different things from student well-being to academic advising to, creating programs to support kids, whether it's in the classroom, academically, behaviorally, or social and emotionally. And so, I don't know if any of you guys know her, can speak to that, but just seems very excited about the opportunity to work with kids at this age group and just has a lot to bring to the table. She's certified in mental health first aid, QPR, and just has a wide variety of different experiences. She was the leader of a threat assessment and care team at one of the universities that she was at. And so just all of those different things
Yeah, I think we were lucky to put with such a qualified candidate, honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
It's great.
She did a really good.
She did a great job, for sure.
And then 8.2, Mr. Milamaki has concluded interviews for the open JV volleyball position, and he is recommending that Jordan Clutch be hired for the position. And I would concur with his recommendation. Jordan played for me many, many years ago. Suzanne played with her too. And then she coached for a good, she coached with you as well, right? And she coached with, did she coach with him? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Angela Ruskin, so here. So she's interested in getting back into great. 8.3, Mr. Milamaki has concluded interviews for the open C squad volleyball position and is recommending Jessica Hinkle be hired for the position, and I would concur with this recommendation. I did visit with him a little bit about her, and she is from Skyview, played volleyball for Skyview. She currently does the stats program at Western, does all the stats at Western, and then has coached club volleyball for the last 6 years. And so Janelle Hamlos highly recommended her, encouraged her to come, and obviously Janelle, is a good one. She has good recommendations. And then the transportation director hiring committee is recommending that you hire Sean Leniger as the new transportation director for the 24-25 school year. If approved, this recommendation, if you approve this recommendation, his start date would be July 29th. If you wanted to give a couple of weeks notice to the current employer that he is with, and I would concur with his recommendation. Mike can help speak to that because he did sit on that interview committee. He comes to us from tremendous experience over the last 20 years with heavy machinery and diesel. Diesel mechanic where has trainings in lots of different areas, that have to do with safety as well as mechanic types of things. Has some supervisor experience as well, and seems really excited to be a
Mechanics. He works at Performance Auto right now.
Yeah.
John Patton.
Well, he's gonna be done.
I was going different directions.
It's one of those surprises when I got the application. My goodness. Anyway, I would to hire. And then we also interviewed for the open special education paraprofessional position. position, and I'm recommending that you hire Sharray Applegate for this position. She is a past student of Beaverhead County High School. She has worked with students with special needs in a wide variety of different areas over the course of the last year. She was a substitute teacher for us, just super reliable and just super excited about an opportunity to be back in school. So she'll be good, and this would be a one-on-one aid position. So,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, she worked up at Westville. She graduated from Westville.
Yeah.
She worked up there I used to see her every day. She was a janitor for.
oh yes, that's what she said.
Yeah. It is. So if everybody is comfortable with that, I would just take a motion to approve all 5 of those recommendations that Megan submitted to us.
I was like, motion.
Here, I, second, thank you. In favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Awesome, motion passes. Great. On to some action items.
I think these ones have to be.
Okay, they do. Okay, so I'll let you take the action item.
So 9.1, board consideration to approve an MOU with BFT to waive section 5 of the master contract on a one-time basis for the purpose of years of previous experience. I have it needed on there because it was dependent on whether or not you approved the recommendation for hire. So included in your packet is a copy of an MOU that was ratified by the BFT and signed by President John Hanson. The MOU allows JC, the new counselor, the ability to bring 5 years of her post-secondary experience into BCHS. Our current collective bargaining agreement allows for new hires to bring in 5 years of their past K-12 experience. But because JC's experience is at the post-secondary level, that didn't qualify. And so as noted in the MOU, this does not constitute a change in the master agreement and is only for this specific hire. And so it doesn't change anything. Most of the time when you're bringing a counselor in, they're going to have those 5 years of experience. So it doesn't, shift her down or give her an additional benefit. It really just gives her the opportunity to have, to bring in 5 of those years at the post-secondary level to the 2-hour level. And I would recommend that she approve.
Need to approve
Like
that.
a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding.
Thank you, Lori.
Second.
Thanks, Chris. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
9.2, board consideration to approve the addendum for the athletic trainer contract with Barrett Hospital. This is just our customary, annual update. So included in your packet is a copy of the addendum for the athletic trainer contract with Barrett Hospital for the 24-25 school year. This contract does reflect a 0 increase from last year, and so there's no increased amount. It is my recommendation that the board approve the addendum for the athletic training contract with Barrett Hospital. And you guys will remember that last year, we did up that. So they did come back to the table and did that. And we made it very clear that, this was the time that we wanted to do that. And so they were happy with the way things were. And of course, Elisa does a good job for us. And so I would make the recommendation that you do the agenda to add this year.
Perfect. It basically is a yearly thing that we do. Okay.
Just basically updates it to include the news.
The year. Okay, perfect. Would there be a motion to
I'll
approve?
make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner. Second, thanks, Mike. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? 9.3.
So 9.3, board consideration to approve the 24-25 quid pro quo agreement with Southwest Montana Family YMCA. So included in your packet is a copy of the quid pro quo agreement with Southwest Montana YMCA for the 24-25 school year. We have entered into this agreement for the past several years, and it's my recommendation that the board approve the quid pro quo for the 24-25 school year. And basically, it just we provide some busing services in the summertime, and they allow our kids for different programs to go to the Y and use the Y for, like, we have a swimming unit and like any of our extracurricular activities. If there's rain or those different types of things, they can take their teams down to the Y and do different things. And so basically, if, you know, we're asking to work it out, they work with us to give our kids access to the YMCA, and then we provide that benefit to them for a couple of trips in summertime. And I think there's a 3,000.
Would there be a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion.
Thanks, Chris. A second?
Second.
Perfect. Mike? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
So board consideration to approve the 24-25 hold harmless agreements with St. Rose Catholic Church and Our Savior's Lutheran Churches as part of our emergency management plan. So included in your packet are the hold harmless agreements for both the Lutheran Church and the Catholic Church. These provide us multiple evacuation sites in the event, in the event it is necessary. Both of these locations are included in our emergency management manual. And we definitely truly appreciate their willingness to work with us in these emergency situations, whether we're, you know, in an emergency or in training, those different types of things. And it is my recommendation that you approve these agreements.
Yeah, that's great that you have those locations. I feel like you guys have had those for a long time. Yeah.
And we're trying to add some additional ones, possibly working with the elementary district, possibly working with the college. You know, obviously it's easiest in most of those situations if we can walk to those. We've talked about possibly reaching out to the event center and seeing if that might be a possibility. But having multiple ones just so that we can, you know, make those decisions and, you know, that we have different ones to choose from. So we have a couple of different systems in place to inform teachers when they're leaving those. So we have an emergency software, which is attached to their phone where we can send messages. In a situation where we were evacuating, we would have secured the building, and so we would use the PA system for that as well. Emails, those different types of things. And then as part of our evacuation process, we do have, if law enforcement was a part of that, law enforcement as well as school personnel that are actually evacuating each of those different buildings. So then also following up with saying, this is where we're going.
There are drills that, like, each school year that gets happens around that and stuff and what they do.
We haven't done that. And we talked about that this year. It wasn't something that I had on from, you know, various previous emergency drills. So we do all like the fire drill, we do code red drills, we do code orange drills. So we do all of those different drills. We just haven't done the full evacuation. We talked about that that's something that we want to do this year. And, you know, one of the other locations could be like the football field, you know, here, depending on what the emergency was. It could have been an earthquake or something like that we were just doing. So we could just choose one of those to do that, just to kind of work through that process. So, and I think that's important.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the teacher does.
There was a period of time when JT put in school, and I feel like it happened multiple times because they had fun notes and evaluating all the kids. And I mean, so I guess it's good that they haven't had to do it, but practice isn't that. Yeah.
No, we talked about that. It wasn't on the list of things, and of course, I just was going off what.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I would entertain a motion to approve that whole harmless agreement.
Approve the whole harmless agreement.
Thank you.
Our Savior's Lutheran Church. I'll second it.
Perfect. Thank you, Pierce. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And the Catholic.
And the Catholic. Both of those. 9.5.
So 9.5, board consideration to approve the second and final reading of the recommended updates to board policy 3122. So you'll recall at the June meeting, we talked a little bit about our attendance policy. And in your packet, highlighted in yellow, just proposing that we add 2 college visit days for our juniors. It is my recommendation that you approve the second and final reading of this update to this policy. I think it'll be a really good.
I do too. I absolutely do. Would there be a motion to approve the policy on attendance?
Yeah, it is.
Thank you, Lori. Second, Chris, thank you so much. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 1, 2,
So 9.6, board consideration to approve an interlocal agreement between Dillon Elementary District and Beaver County High School for transportation services. So included in your packet is a copy of an interlocal agreement that Randy Shipman from District 10 and I put together just to note, really just to basically note the charges for the transportation services. It is my recommendation that you approve this interlocal agreement. It just, we've had it in place for a number of years. We've just never had a formal document that just kind of outlines what the charges are and when the charges are due by, those are the types of things. So
I think that's great.
yeah, so it's not real in-depth, but at the same time, it notes the things that we need to.
Is there any, questions on that, since it is something new? Make a motion to approve it? Okay, I'm going to entertain a motion to approve that agreement.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Pierce. Will there be a second?
Second.
Thanks, Mike. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Perfect. On to 9.7.
All right, board consideration to approve the 24-25 transportation handbook. So included in your packet is a copy of the proposed 24-25 transportation handbook with the proposed changes highlighted, and you'll notice that some very few changes that are in there. They really went through it last year and made some significant changes. I will note that there are on page, I think it was, I noted it, on page 11 and 14, I do have highlighted page numbers, and I just wanted to make sure before we printed them that we made sure that those page numbers were referenced to the right page. So I just highlighted those so that, so like, for example, on page 11 says to look on page 8, I believe, and I just want to make sure that when we do print it, it's referencing to the right spot in the transportation. So that's why that was highlighted, and then the addendum, I just wanted to make sure it's verified, so, because it said 2021, and I thought that that should have been changed, but that was when it was implemented, was 2021 because of all the COVID stuff. And so basically it just adds a communicable disease notation in there if ever in the event that we get put into a situation where we have to
Right.
get that. So, I mean,
It's there.
it's there.
Okay.
Hopefully, it's there. Have to do that again. But other than that, I believe it was just changing the revision to the 2024 school year and dates and those types of things. So I would approve that you, or recommend that you approve.
Perfect. Any other thoughts or comments? If not, I would take a motion to approve the 24-25 transportation handbook.
I'll make the motion.
Thanks, Kurt. Is there a second? Thanks, Mike. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Perfect. Good.
With that.
With those. And to my agenda. I think that was it. Did I miss anything? Oh, here we go. No, next board meeting. It will be August 12th. Is that a Monday too?
It is a Monday.
Okay.
Information wrong.
No, I,
So it isn't the 12th. It would be that the activities start. I said that they started on the 12th,
you don't think they do?
so they must start that Thursday.
Okay, they
Yeah,
do.
but Thursday is the 15th.
The 15th, that's the day they start. So I knew 12th was in my mind enough because it was the board meeting.
But the fall sports meeting is that night too.
It is.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, the activities start that Thursday, so that's it.
Well, perfect. We did pretty good. I'm just taking motion to adjourn.
And so move.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Chris. All those in favor?
So when is it?
It's 12.